By the end of the 14th century, Europe was far from becoming the wealthy and powerful continent we know today. As we saw last time, Europe was still reeling from the horrendous Black Death plague that swept the continent 50 years before. But with the dawn of a new century, Europe stood on the brink of an unprecedented era of exploration and expansion. Driven by an unquenchable thirst for wealth, power, and the desire to spread Christianity, European nations embarked on a series of ambitious voyages that would forever change the course of history. How's it? My name is Dr. Jacob Seidnote. As always, this is my companion in all things history, Stashy, and you're watching The Historian Stash. Now, before we tackle European expansion and colonialism, it's important that we understand what colonialism is. This goes for anything that you are trying to understand. When explaining a concept, any concept, make sure that you define it properly first. Because if you define what it is as a starting point, you are showing that you know what you are talking about. Colonialism can be defined as control by one power over a dependent area or people. It occurs when one nation subjugates or crushes another, conquering its population and exploiting it, often while forcing its own language and cultural values upon its people. By 1914, a large majority of the world's nations had been colonized by Europeans at some point. But colonialism is by no means a European intervention. It was practiced way back in ancient times. And when I say ancient times, I don't mean the time when your parents were young. No, the ancient times I'm referring to are when the pyramids were still being built, the Library of Alexandria was still intact, the Hanging Gardens of Babylon were still hanging, and the earth was still flat. Only joking, flat earthers.
I will chew your meat. Are you crazy? Think I had to joke with you?
Colonialism was practiced by empires such as ancient Greece, ancient Rome, ancient Egypt, Phoenicia, and later the Ottoman Turks. These civilizations all extended their borders into neighboring and far-off lands and established colonies that used the physical resources of the land as well as the resources of the conquered population to increase their own power. The concept of colonialism is closely linked to that of imperialism, which is the policy or ethos of using power and influence to control another nation or people that underlies colonialism. Now, over the next couple of weeks, we are going to be looking at how and why Europe was able to colonize large parts of the world in less than 2 centuries. Our focus will be on the early processes of colonization and the consequences of those processes on the colonized societies, on ideas of racial superiority, and on the balance of power in the world. What follows now is a brief overview of how Europe rose from relative obscurity to dominate vast territories across the globe. Let's now look at some of the factors that contributed to Europe colonizing large parts of the world. As we saw last time, at the start of the 15th century, sailors had limited knowledge of the world as they were using outdated maps. Other limitations included poor ship designs and primitive navigational techniques. But this all changed during the course of the 1400s. The Portuguese created the ocean-going caravel with new navigational instruments such as the compass and astrolabe, as well as techniques that enabled them to determine how far north or south they had journeyed by measuring the height of the sun at noon and the height of a star at night. This enabled European explorers to venture further and faster across the seas, opening up new trade routes and opportunities for colonization. Another crucial element was Europe's political landscape. The emergence of powerful nation-states such as Spain, Portugal, England, France, and the Netherlands fueled competition for wealth, power, and territory. Monarchs and rulers sponsored ambitious voyages of exploration in search of new lands and resources to expand their empires. Economic factors also played a significant role. The rise of capitalism and the desire for profits drove European merchants and investors to seek new markets and trade routes. The lucrative spice trade with Asia, in particular, motivated European powers to find alternative routes to the east, leading to the discovery of the Americas and other previously unknown lands. Military superiority was another critical aspect of European colonization. European armies equipped with firearms, cannons, and other advanced weaponry often overwhelmed indigenous peoples with superior firepower. This military advantage, combined with tactics of divide and conquer, enabled European powers to establish colonial dominance in various regions of the world. Cultural and religious factors also played a significant role in Europe's colonial expansion. The spread of Christianity and the desire to convert non-Christian peoples, coupled with notions of cultural superiority and the civilizing mission, provided ideological justification for European colonization and domination. Today, the legacy of European colonialism continues to shape our world in profound ways. While colonialism brought immense wealth and power to Europe, it also resulted in exploitation, oppression, and the marginalization of indigenous peoples around the world. Over the next few weeks, we're going to be looking at certain case studies of European conquest and colonization, and how it affected the indigenous groups of the conquered territories. Until next time, from Stashy and myself, stay Stashy.